Hello and welcome back. I just dubbed this is a Friday cozy podcasting session because we both have our blankets
hmm
and I am feeling so tired right now. Like,
I honestly
she
was
is
too.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
was too, but I was like, I have so much shit I need to do today. I was like, I can't be tired today. I
No,
need to get stuff done.
I don't know who she is. We're not really
Mhm.
tired.
Yeah.
Um, we got a call from our neighbors last night and they were like, "Oh, do you want to come up and like have a drink with us?" Like we haven't met them. We've like said hello and
Oh,
whatever. So my like homebody ass is like, ugh, like I don't want to, like, oh James, come on, like you just go. And he's like, no, like we're going. We'll go for 20 minutes and then we can come home.
you weren't there for 20 minutes.
3 hours later,
Oh
glasses of wine. I was
my
like,
God.
I was literally having so much fun. I was like
Oh, yay.
so happy to like have like some neighbor friends that are like
hmm
normal and like fun. And she's
hmm
like, oh my God, like I work out in my backyard every day and we have a pool. And like, if you want to go to these classes with me, I was like, I would love to do all of these things. Like,
Aw, that's fun.
it was super fun. So that's why I
hmm
need a James like person in my life always, because I'll always try to just like not do things. And
Yeah.
then, not that I would regret it because I wouldn't have known, but
hmm
now I'm like really happy. I'm tired because like if I have like two glasses of wine, I'm like I need to sleep. But
hmm
I was like, fuck it. I haven't drank in a while and I just am like really having fun and it
Nice.
was like it was like so wholesome. I was like this is like wholesomeness that I am
Yeah.
very happy to welcome into my life. And guess how old they are? I'm dead.
Like 50. I knew
Yeah.
it. I knew they're gonna be older. That's fun though.
Oh my God, it was like so they were like dying laughing. They're like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm 26." And they were like, "Oh my God, we thought James was a baby." And I was like, "Well, like I'm gonna be 27 in a couple of months."
Oh, how old is James?
He's 27. He'll be
Okay.
28 in a couple of months.
Oh, nice.
But I was like, it's not that far off. But I think they also just thought he was older because like when he was 19, my dad thought he was like 28. And I was like, Dad,
Wow.
you're really having a conversation with like your 18-year-old daughter and you're assuming her boyfriend's 28. I was like, that's kind of weird, but like,
Hey now.
oh, is that how old that was the difference you guys were?
7.5 years.
Yeah, but like when did you guys start dating?
I met him when I was 19.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. There's
Then-
and my dad is like 11 years older than my mom. But at that moment, I was like,
Uh-huh.
I was like, Dad, that's how that is weird. Like, how do you
hmm
not like? I'm like, he is like clearly looks fairly young, and now
Yeah.
like he looks older because like he has a beard and like he really like sometimes wears some dad-esque outfits. Like he loves a polo. He loves a
Oh,
polo
I
shirt.
can't. I just not, I mean, to each their own,
No, they're
but
fucking
Joel,
awful.
they are awful.
I
They
hate a
are awful.
polo. Like he wears like a polo for work. And sometimes
Oh.
he'll be like, "Oh, you want to go out to dinner after?" And I'm like, "You want to like change?" And he's like, "No, it's fine." I'm like,
No, it's not.
"Girl, you are looking like my dad. Like my dad loves a polo. The man
Uh-huh.
loves a khaki. He loves a cargo short." I'm like,
Oh,
"It's really, you know what?" But
you know,
he is confident as hell. So you know
oh, there
what?
you go.
Go off, queen.
Listen, fashion is not my strong suit. I think everyone knows that. I just kind of try to buy timeless pieces here and there.
Yeah.
But
Which
even
you do a
Joel,
pretty good job at though. Like all the little stuff you, whenever you're posting or you send me pictures, I'm like, wait, that's like a sleigh. Like I love
oh, there have
that for
been
you.
many non-slays, trust me. Like I'm like, why did I buy this? I wore it once, why am I
Yeah.
keeping this? So yeah, trial and error. But now like I'm very much like picky what I bring into my wardrobe because like I just don't want to collect more things. Like I
Yeah.
love cleaning things out. Like we just
Pause.
cleaned
Your
out.
microphone is like a little hot. Just turn her down a little bit or move it from your face. You're just, I think you are trying to, yeah, there you go. Try now.
There, better,
Yeah. Much better. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm turning into you.
Yeah.
I was like, hot? What does my microphone hot mean?
Hot on the mic.
But we just cleaned out our wardrobes and got rid of a ton of stuff. I'm like, why? And it's funny because we got rid of so many polos. I'm like, Joel, you never wear these. Should I just ship them over to James?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. The man loves a polo. I don't understand it. He's like, it's low effort, but you look great. And I'm like,
To who?
yep, you look great. I'm like, it is low effort. You are
Uh,
correct. But you know what? I'm sure some of the things that I wear, he's like, what the fuck is this bitch wearing? But he's just like, it
yeah.
looks nice. And I'm like, you know what? Thank you.
I feel like there was something. I do make a list. Where is that list?
I saw while you're getting the list, I
Yeah.
saw this crazy ass TikTok this morning. I'm laying in bed
Uh-huh.
and it was
I recall.
there was two zookeepers in a zoo.
I saw that too. Oh my God. I was like, at first
Are
I was
all
like
zoo
trying to
cages the same? Literally.
literally, I was like, what am I watching at first? And then I was like, oh my God,
I
they're
thought somebody was
stuck.
about to be massacred. So
But like, what, how did that happen?
so
Someone
let me
opened the
describe it for the
latch?
people.
Yes,
So
yes, yes, yes.
in the video starts, you see a zookeeper running from
Mhm.
like the left side of the screen, and the
Yep,
silverback is following it. That
yep.
zookeeper manages to get into like the doorway,
Mhm,
and the door is open. And you're like, why aren't you
mhm,
fucking closing the door? And then all of a sudden, you see another zookeeper come out of the other side, and they both made it out alive. And they didn't have to fucking shoot the gorilla. So peace and love across the
yeah.
board. How does that happen though? Like
I guess someone opened because I would assume
they
that the
opened his
gorilla went into like
enclosure?
I
Yeah.
would assume the gorilla was in its little like cage within the
Yeah.
enclosure. You know what I mean? Like I can imagine like latching doors coming up, coming
Yeah.
down. And then yeah, that I can't imagine how
So
scary that would
scary.
be.
Oh, I'd quit my job.
I can't imagine. What are your thoughts on zoos? Are
I
you
am very
pro
anti-zoo.
I am anti-zoo unless it's, like, more of, like, a sanctuary for, like,
Sure.
animals that were injured or hurt.
Yeah. If they're injured and will not survive in the
Yes.
wild,
I think that's
I
great.
I have a different stance on that. I also think it's like circle of life, you know? You can't you can't
Yeah.
save every animal. And I'm curious how they get into these sanctuaries, right? Like were they
Mhm.
rescued from a zoo and then it was like, okay, this animal clearly cannot be in the wild. We will, give it a better life. But still,
Mhm.
if it goes into the wild, it's gonna fucking die. So I'm okay
Mhm.
with that, but I guess it's also like I would do my research on like anywhere I'm going, but I'm like not gonna take my kids to the zoo. Like
Mhm.
as a kid, I didn't like it. I was like, what the fuck happens if these animals escape? In Boston, there was a gorilla named George, I believe. Joe or George. I think it was Joe.
So
In Dorchester, there is the Franklin Park Zoo.
uh
This motherfucker escaped from the zoo and was in the city.
Mhm.
So as a child, my suspicions were real. They were true.
Wait,
A
like,
monkey,
running around the city?
yeah, like he literally
My
escaped from the
god.
zoo because the zoo is in the city.
That's insane.
So little Allie was onto something, and I was like, "What if it escaped? Like this would be
Mm.
crazy." So don't like zoos because I think
Uh
it's unethical, and then also I'm scared.
Yeah. No, I could see that. And then his parents like, "I don't know how my kid got in there." Like, you literally were, like, holding him on top of the thing, like,
Oh,
"Climb."
remember when they shot Harambe? Because
Yeah,
that kid,
yeah,
I mean, like you have to fucking watch your kids. I'm sorry, like I know accidents
yeah,
happen, but you're at the zoo. How the
yeah.
hell does your kid get into an enclosure?
Uh,
That is so scary.
carelessness.
That is so fucking scary.
Do we wanna recap Love Is Blind because the
Yes,
last
give
one came
me
out?
a tea.
Yes. This is coming out obviously on Wednesday, what we're talking about right now. I mean, us talking in general. So
Yeah.
the reunion probably will come out, so we'll recap that the next
Yeah.
episode. Okay, so Chelsea and Jimmy, Megan Fox dupe and Jimmy, they did not make it to the altar. Um,
Okay.
it was
I've
pretty
seen
odd.
a lot on online about how people are like, wait, now I'm rooting for Jimmy. Like, did Chelsea like was there a turn?
Yeah, because the whole time she was just very insecure. She found out he introduced her to two of his best girlfriends and
Okay.
they went to lunch and then like they were talking about like sex and then she was saying like, "Yeah, he's a crier." And we were all like, "Obviously he had sex with her." Yeah. So then it came out, and then he didn't want her to talk about that on camera. What does she do? She blows him up on camera and was like, I knew you had. So there were so many boundaries that she crossed between talking about, I think, multiple things he didn't wanna talk about on camera that he, like, voiced.
Yeah.
The fact that she kept saying, "I don't think you love me. You don't show me you love me enough." He clearly did. He voiced it so many times. And just, like, how she acted for so many instances, and they had, like, a really nice date, blah, 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 and then the end of the date, he basically said he's not going to the altar. And
Ooh,
then she yeah,
oh my God.
she
Is that
yeah.
a conversation all of the couples have? Like, are we going to the altar?
No, no,
Oh,
they
it's
don't
just
always show that. I think it's the ones that, like, know they don't wanna go to the altar. Now,
OMG.
I always thought they had to make it to the altar because 'cause I'm thinking, like, past seasons of Love Is Blind, like, they were always all at the altar, and then they
Mm,
made it seem like, I don't know." Meanwhile, like, they're saying no, you
yeah.
know? So I feel like the past couple seasons, they've been doing more of, like, having that discussion if they're really
Mhm.
rocky. So, I knew it wasn't gonna happen, and at the end, like, I think he prevailed to be the better partner, especially, like, just he was so putting himself like, "I'm gonna do this. I'm going to see it through." And then she just was too insecure. Um, I don't think it was gonna work. She
Right.
crossed too many boundaries for him.
Yeesh. Oh my God.
Yes. And then that one couple I think we talked about, he cheated on her.
Oh my God. Yeah, I saw a tick
Mhm,
literally after we talked about this. I swear my
mhm.
phone was like listening.
Same, same.
And I saw the clip of like where she was like, "Oh, like where were you?" And he was like saying all these things and then it's like,
Mhm.
well, the Apple Watch, was the fucking
Yeah.
secret of it all.
Yes,
Mention it all. I'm obsessed.
yes. I feel like I look so dark. Is it, like, dark still?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know.
Am I just hyper aware of it because
I
I was in
think
a
you're
dark
hyper aware of
abyss?
it because you need to stop looking at yourself. I
Well,
find,
I'm looking at yours and it's, like, so bright. I'm like, I look like I'm in a dark hole still.
but you can't look at yours. Like when I'm looking,
Why?
I have to talk to you because then when I go back to edit it, I find myself I'm like looking.
Okay, well, I wasn't doing that the whole time, but
I know,
just
but it's like when you're on FaceTime, you actively are like looking at yourself in the tiny little box. Like I always call my sister out. I'm like, bitch, look at me. And she's like, yeah, I just needed to look at myself for a second.
Okay, anyway. So, yeah, so that couple, he cheated, and then there was, like,
Ugh.
nothing new really came out of that. She confronted him, and then they showed a scene. There was, like, they always do, like, an awkward, like, get together with everyone.
Like the
And
whole crew.
yes, but
Okay.
a lot of the couples, like, weren't there, like, not Amber, Brittany and Ken when Ken, like, destroyed her heart. Remember that? I told you about
Yes.
that? How he was on his phone, yeah, they weren't there, but, Sarah Ann, the girl he cheated on her with, was there, and she goes, "I have a right to express my feelings," and blah, 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 and just, like, she's just
Girl.
trash in
Oh,
my book, trash in my book.
God.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
scandalous. I love.
Yeah, so then the only other couple we had left, oh, we had 2 that made it to the altar.
Okay.
AD and Clay, and, Clay basically told her the entire season he was not ready to get married, but his dad comes in, and they show his dad, the suave, smooth guy, and he literally comes in, he's, like, talking about, like, all of his, like, dusty old track records, like, "Do you really come on TV just to talk about, like, your track things?" He's like, "Yeah, your grandma always told me, be good to your wife," but like he didn't say anything about like be good to your kids. And then like during the season, they disclosed that Clay disclosed to his mom. His mom did not know. Well, she knew that his dad started cheating on her of year 7 in a 24-year marriage. So from year 7 on, he was cheating on her. Not only was he cheating on her, when he would go to cheat on her, he would take Clay with him. And Clay told his mom, and she was like, I don't know if they showed the reaction, but she confronts the dad. What she said was so freaking eloquent. She was like, basically, for, paraphrasing, like, Clay brought all of this extra, like, pressure and things that she's like, I didn't even know you were doing. She brought that with him to the altar. He
Yeah.
wanted to get married, but, like, he kept thinking, like he kept saying, like, "My role models, like my dad and Will Smith, they couldn't be faithful to their wives." his dad goes, I didn't have good role models. I wonder where Clay got that from. I know. And Clay's
God.
mom freaking rips him to shreds. She's
Rips
like,
the dad to shreds.
yes, she's like,
Okay.
we come from broken families, but we don't have to bring that to our kids. We can be the
Yeah.
ones that break that.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep that going. And he's like, yeah, yeah. He's like, Clay just needs someone good like you and his like how you were to me. She goes, yeah, but you wasn't good to me. And I was like, ah, like, oh
Did
my,
parents like get divorced and
a
this
long
comes up
time ago.
later?
Yes,
Okay, and then
yes,
this comes out. Oh my God, she must
yes,
have felt honestly so vindicated because she probably
yes,
had these feelings in her head of like something isn't right, blah blah blah,
yep,
blah. And then to top it off, like my child is being brought to
yep,
another person's house
yep.
with my husband who is being unfaithful to me, who is basically like trying to, what is he trying to do? Like recreate a family, like with my child? Like, oh my God. That,
Multiple, like, I don't know how many women, but like lots
oh
of
my God.
women. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. That is the tea.
So it makes
Wow.
sense why he is the way he is struggling with it. And then
Yes.
he says no at the altar. She is just like broken. And
Oh,
it was just so sad, and then after, he's like, "I'm not saying no to us, AD, I'm just saying no to marriage, like, why can't we date after this,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah," and then she says, like, she's done, like,
Oh,
and you could tell, like, she's still, like, just obviously struggling with food and,
yeah.
like, she's not enough, but no one would have been enough for him. He had demons,
Right.
he couldn't he had the whole time, he was saying no, pretty much,
Right.
you know?
What are your thoughts on that? Like in these types of shows, like with The Bachelor or Love is Blind, like when the intended purpose is to get engaged and then to get married, how do you feel when it's like, I want to be with you, but I don't want to
Uh-huh.
get married yet?
I mean, it's like 2 trains of thought, 'cause I did see some comments for, like, "Why can't they just date after?" You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the point of the show, like, you were there to get married. With The Bachelor, they can, stay a couple years engaged, but, like, they're there to get married, that's the point of the show. So if you
Okay.
just wanna find someone to get to know in a longer term basis, that's, like, not the show for you.
Okay. So like they when you go into it, because I think with The Bachelor, it's intended to also get like married as well. Like they'll do a little special, but
Right,
you're
but
with
they
Love
don't
is Blind. Like at the end, it's like
like,
there's the
4
altar, we're
weeks.
getting there. Oh,
Yes.
God.
So it's just like if you
Yeah.
don't wanna have it sped up, there's a million other shows to go on. You know what I mean?
Oh
That's
my
how
God.
I see it,
Yeah,
like, it's
you're like go audition somewhere else. I'm trying to see people get married.
that's what people were saying, yeah. So there was one couple
Okay.
that got married,
Okay.
Johnny and crap, I'm forgetting her name, Puerto Rican, super pretty something, I can't remember her name right now.
Okay.
But they get married, and I really hope they, like, talk about birth control because these people we didn't talk about that?
No.
Oh god, he is so scared of getting her pregnant. He's like, "I guess my options are getting a vasectomy." Like, she doesn't wanna go on birth control, love that for her. Like, do they not understand how fertility, how a menstrual I hope to God it's been a year, obviously.
Yeah.
She is getting hit up with, like, sponsor after sponsor to learn how to track her basal body temperature, to learn
Oh
you
my God.
literally can't get pregnant any time of the month, like, it's not possible, like
She should. I literally want like a brand deal for her. What's that?
yes.
The it's the specific like type of the brand of like the thermometer for
Oh, I know what you're
it.
talking about. I don't have that
She
one, but I
needs
have one.
she needs like some big company to like give that
Yes,
brand deal.
yes.
She can talk about it. She can learn about it. Like,
Yeah,
oh
they
my God.
literally have no idea about fertility, like, nothing, and
What? Most
yeah.
people don't though. I was having
Yeah.
a conversation with someone. Um, and they were like, "Oh yeah, so and so is they're trying to get pregnant and they're getting discouraged because it's been a month." And my friend was like, you know, like when people are a little bit older, it can take a little bit longer. A month isn't that long. There's not really like this huge percentage that like you're gonna get pregnant just because you have sex one time. I mean, maybe when you're like 18 to 24 like you get like you sneeze and you can get pregnant. But it's like so crazy how like so many people like men and women have no
Mhm.
idea what the
I
fuck is going
know.
with fertility. It's crazy.
I would love to have, we are not big enough, of course, to have Dr. Jolene Brighton.
Yeah.
I have her book literally like sitting
Yeah.
on my stuff, but talks about fertility and menstrual health and like just so many good things. But we are having I'm pretty sure he does not go by, it's not doctor, but one of my mentors, Gillis, he
Yeah.
is really good at women's health. We're not having him on till what, July?
Couple
Like
of months. Yeah.
yeah, a couple of months, but that will be a really good conversation. We'll talk to him about that. And like he literally knows, like I'll ask him a question about like a client and it's like the Rolodex of
Yeah.
information
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he
Like,
has in his
hold on 1 second. Okay.
yeah, literally, literally. So that'll be exciting. But yeah, it was just unfortunate to see. I mean, this could have brought so much more attention to other ways of contraception and also talk about, because she did kind of say like I'm not comfortable with the effects that birth control can have on the
Yeah.
body. I was like, yes, let's talk
Yeah.
about that more, but it wasn't
Yeah.
really discussed. However, I did fast forward through some of the scenes because it's just like so slow sometimes. Like I
Mm.
need more than just like boring talk and like
Yeah.
how you just looked up what a vasectomy is for the first time ever.
Are you serious?
Literally, they talk about it. I was like,
What the? Okay. Maybe this was like not an appropriate show for me to have watched. Like, but I used to watch like reality TV, like from as young as I can remember, like with my
same,
babysitters and all that sort of stuff.
same.
I knew what a vasectomy was for like since I was like probably 6 or 7. Like I didn't understand like what was actually happening, but I was like, oh yeah, it's like so like a guy like can't get a woman pregnant.
Yeah.
How
Like,
do
were
you
you
how do you not know?
I don't know. Were you also watching, like, 16 and Pregnant when you were, like,
Of
very
course. Of course. What are you talking about? I was watching it all. Literally.
I remember my dad would be like, "Turn off that trash." And we're like, "It's great. We know what not to do." Like, he would get so mad. There was also
Yeah.
some other show I used to watch with my dad. I know what was it called with, like, Bam Marg
Margera.
yes.
Um, was he in Jackass?
Yes, there
Okay.
was a show. They had a show, though.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
had a weird name.
I yeah. Oh. Something. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. It
What
was
was it called?
Steve-O,
Yeah,
Bam Margera. It
yeah,
was the little person was in it. I don't know his
yeah,
name.
yeah.
It was on MTV though. Of course it
It
was.
had a weird name, like a swear word in the name or something, I can't remember,
Sure,
but
yeah.
yeah,
Love,
but I was remember
love
I was watching that
Steve-O.
with my dad. I'm like, "You let me watch that." I'm like,
For they're
"What?"
doing like butt chugs, like of like vodka, and like we're like, oh, that's
Uh,
funny, but we can't watch 16
oh
and Pregnant.
god.
I'm having the time of my life over here.
I know. Oh, other thing, in terms of reality
Yeah.
gossip and stuff, Brittany and Jax. Are you following that at all from
Of
Vanderpump?
course I am. Vanderpump this season, as I said last week, it is so boring. What happened this week? Again, so boring. Sheena's making everything about herself, which to an
Oh my
extent
god.
I I'm going to play devil's advocate. She lost a friend who was like really important
Sure.
to her. Everybody else would like shit on her and like he was like really supportive. He's a douche. Don't like him. I think she's a douche. Don't like her, but I can understand that she's feeling torn. And also, it is the most boring fucking season I have ever watched of reality TV. It is so bad.
Oh.
And Katie did an interview and she was like, oh, it's like a slow burn. I'm like, well, let's speed this fucking up. I don't have time for
Let's
this.
put some, like, gas on this.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, The Valley's coming out, right? Are we going to watch it? Of course. Um,
Are
do we
we
believe that this is real or just drummed up for their show? I don't know because they have a child together. Like that would be if they did not have a child, I would 100% say with my chest, oh, this is for PR. But they have a child together. And we know Jax's behavior. So I don't know. I don't know.
who was it? What's the British kid? Oh, I can't James.
James?
James said it best.
James Kennedy.
James said it best. Jax would be a great first husband for Brittany.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
was like,
Like, that
accurate.
was so fucking good. No, but I don't know. Like people are so sure that it's fake, but then at the same time, we watched for years and years
Yeah,
on
it
television.
tracks. It
It
tracks.
tracks. And
It
I don't know,
tracks.
like I guess there are some people that are gonna like do anything to get like fame and like for their show to do good on reality TV. But also like when you have a kid involved, I just don't know how likely to like I'm saying 30% it's fake. 20% it's fake. I'm going 20%
Okay. Yeah,
fake.
I could see like 30% fake because it looks good and people
Their
now we're gonna
podcast is
watch and
probably getting way more
yeah,
listens.
how are they gonna podcast together if you're breaking up?
So I only listened to
Questionable.
like 2 episodes because they
Was it
dropped
good?
it. No, it was fucking horrible. They dropped
How?
it during like Scandival. So of course I was listening
Of
to every
course.
goddamn podcast. And then I wasn't even like following the podcast like on
Uh-huh.
Apple. It was just like, all right, is there a new episode out? I need to listen.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was so boring. It was like, you know us from Vanderpump Rules and la la la. I'm like, okay, get it.
No.
That I'm like, okay, all right, we get it. Haha, you guys are so funny. And then Jax is like so fucking congested because he's had 8 million nose jobs. You can't like, I can't listen to him without like wanting to die.
Oh,
I'm like, oh my God.
that
So
bad.
it was boring. They were
Yeah.
talking about like stupid shit and then be like, you know, Jax's old ways. I'm like, okay, let's stop talking about how like your husband, who you have a child with, used to like fuck around behind your back. Like,
Well, you know what they say, like
why are we talking about that?
when you're super self-conscious about something, you talk about it a lot.
100%. Like it was just like because it was like Scandival was the topic. It was like, me and Jax have had our issues and you know, he did things, but it was different. And it's like
Accent, sorry.
your man and this man are not so different. Okay. Like
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
God, so like don't talk about it. And then they're also just talking, they were talking about stupid shit. And I was like, this is literally so boring.
I'm not gonna waste my ear time on it.
No, no. I'm gonna look on TikTok though, because I have a feeling she's probably just doing it alone. I don't see him doing it.
I feel like I heard on the Vile Files that they were gonna continue, and he thought it was like sus. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're breaking up, but you're still professionals," continuing with it. And I was like,
No.
Funny thing though, they had Peter on the Vile Files. I don't know when because I
I
listened to
thought it
them
was
like
a while ago.
yeah, I listened to them like out of order.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
I,
start from like
I
the
believe I
oldest.
listened to that episode. I'm like
Okay.
90% sure.
And he said Jax like hates him because remember when I'm the number one guy in this group.
Yeah.
Peter made a website
Yeah, of
called
course he did. So
and sells merch and Jax hates him for that. Like, sorry, Peter's is smart. Like, you're
get your
not.
bag. Jax, you're dumb as fuck. You should have done it.
I would have done that as soon as I said it. I would have bought the domain, the number one guy in
Literally,
the
like
group.
as soon as he saw it popping off, he should have, if he
Yeah.
didn't know how to do it, he should have fucking paid someone and been like, I like, should we do this?
What about Jax's fitness app? Where did that go?
I was having literally, I was thinking to myself the other day, am I crazy or did this happen? So, yeah,
Joel literally asked me, he goes, whatever happened to that? I was like, I don't know.
there's one more. So I don't know what happened to the fitness app. It didn't exist. It was never going anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing he was going to do a collab with what the
With
fuck is his name? Lance Bass, and it was called Just Add X or something, and it was like Jax. It was a liquor. I have to look this up because I was like,
I don't remember
I
that.
was going crazy. I thought I saw it on Vanderpump, and then I'm like, did I see it somewhere?
Mm.
Ugh.
How about I've been seeing a ton of TikToks that something about her isn't actually a thing. It's just a
So
storefront. There's nothing like
okay,
they're not actually being a shop. Why? Why do all that work?
I have thoughts. So it is real. The facts are
Oh,
true. I will put it on the
okay.
screen.
Okay.
However, I swear I saw it on TV. Maybe
Australian?
I watched like one of the bonus episodes or secret revealed episodes, but I
Mhm.
fucking saw it, or they pulled that shit because it did awful. I don't know. Something about her. I'm bored. I'm
Well,
bored. Is it?
why is it it's not real. It's just for the show. Why? Why
I
do
don't
all
think
that
so.
work?
I don't think so. I think it's just
I've
taking.
seen too many TikToks where they're showing
Okay, what
like
are the TikToks you're seeing? Give me the
like
details.
they're showing the storefront during the show and then they're showing it after and it's like all like cleaned up, nothing there. So it's like only open on certain times and for just for the show. Like it's not functioning every day.
Really?
Why yeah, why open that up? It's just for the storyline.
Oh my
I'm
God, I'm gonna have
convinced.
to look up
I'm
TikToks. Like, so you're
convinced.
saying like there's decorations and all
It's
that
like a
sort of stuff.
set. It's a set. Yeah. I don't know why do all that work, and also, like, all the funding they did for it, and, like, it could have been successful, and then you coulda just ran it and paid people to run it and not worry about it. Like, I don't understand, like, maybe because, Katie does the podcast now with, what's her face
Dana.
from Dana. You don't like it?
I'm so bored. Like, I feel like they think they're saying really incredibly like groundbreaking things. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, like I get like it's funny and I like you guys on the show. And if you were
Mhm.
saying this stuff on the show, I might think it's a little bit more interesting. But it's like, I really think that some people, when they have a podcast, they think it's fucking groundbreaking. What we're doing here, it's not groundbreaking.
I was like us?
We're just fucking, we're talking, we're doing our thing, we're schwitzing. I swear, certain people, like, they're talking and they're doing things for a soundbite. And I'm like, just talk
Um,
normal. Just like have your conversation.
yeah.
I think the name is kind of stupid. I'm
What was the name?
like something like disrespectfully or something. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, all
Yeah.
right. I'm all right. Enough. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a hater ass bitch. I'm like so over Vanderpump. They just need to like, they should have fucking cut it at season 10. Go out with a fucking bang
Yeah.
and leave us wanting more versus now you've got a diehard here who is like ready to just like fucking say sayonara, bitch.
I know. I'm on my summer house tour right
Oh,
now,
oh my God.
and I'm on season 3, loving it.
I love Summer
Loving
House.
it. They're just like we need to, like, wrap up the reality talk
I
if we're, like,
know.
just really going into it, but I'll leave it with this. On Summer House, for if you've never watched it, they are all living in New York City, and they all rent a house together in the Hamptons, and it's, like, a gorgeous house. But it's just insane, like, the one thing I keep asking myself is, like, how do they have enough money to not only rent a house, but go, like, balls to the walls drinking and partying every weekend? Like, how do you what does your house look like? Is it like your apartment? Is it a wreck? Because you literally are working like crazy during the week,
Yeah.
and then you go on the weekends, you're driving 3 hours to the Hamptons, driving back, and you're just partying all weekend, like, how? How is that maintainable?
I think when it first started, they were actually paying for a lot of things and now they're not. You know what I mean? Like as it
Yeah.
evolves, Bravo's going to give them a bigger budget. Bravo's going to want them to do crazy shit. So
True.
now, but when it first, like the first couple of seasons, totally, like it was
Yeah.
absolute craziness. And
Yeah.
now, still love it, but it's different, right? Because like
Yeah.
the early seasons of Bravo, the early years of Bravo, ugh, what I wouldn't do to go back and watch it all over again, like genuinely.
What I would give.
If I had a dying wish, it would be to be able to go back and watch all of like the older Bravo shows over again and to
Then
just
watch
be
them.
no, but I want it for the first time. I want to experience it again
Oh,
and be
well,
like,
when you have dementia, that's perfect.
okay, will you remember that for me? Because I won't.
Put a reminder in your phone for, like, 70 years, 50 years
My
from
phone
now.
will not. Yeah, my phone will be like on its like last leg, and I'll get a reminder like, watch Real Housewives of New York. What the hell is that? And I'll be like, somebody put this on for me, and I'll be like, oh my
Uh,
God, no, I love it. So
that's
that's
funny.
that is our reality
Ooh,
segment.
ooh. I'll leave one thing I was gonna ask you, I'll leave for the next time because we could talk about that forever.
Give me one more. Give me one more. Give me one more.
I had 2 more, so we'll just do 1.
Okay.
HUMIRA update.
Yes.
HUMIRA
Yes.
update, like, ringing the cowbell here.
Woo!
I so where am I going with this? Yes. So in January, I had to collect my thoughts. In January, we made the decision that we were going to push my shots from every other week to every 3 weeks, which is like, a big deal because the last time I was off HUMIRA, yeah, last time I was off HUMIRA, I was like crippled, like literally
Mm,
crippled.
hmm.
But if you think about it, like, I was at the worst mental health, physical health, like, I was not doing anything good for my health because I
Yeah,
was, like, just such in, like, like, a cycle of, like,
totally.
trauma and hurt and pain, just, like, you don't feel good, you don't wanna do good things for your body, so now I'm like, okay, the last time I was off of it, I was really, really I couldn't walk, but I also wasn't doing anything helpful. And now I've been working on my autoimmune since January 2023. So it's been a full year. So we pushed to every 3 weeks. And I thought I was getting like maybe some flare ups, but like in my like both of my toes, which is, like, not it sounds so, like, small, but, like, I'm just, like, on high alert, like, "Oh my god, like, it's
Yeah,
happening again."
totally.
But been blasting the red light on my feet for, like, 10 minutes a day, almost every day, and it hasn't progressed, and it hasn't really, like, gotten worse. Maybe it's even gone away a little bit. So it's been 3 months, well, at the end of the month, it will be 3 months since we've been reducing it. So I was, like, talking to, my coach, and we were like, "Okay, we want my next appointment is not till July, and I don't wanna wait all the way to July to, like,
Yeah,
think about lowering it again, like, things are going well, like, it's been almost 3 months, like, why not? Let's reduce it again." So, called my doctor, and he was like, "Yeah, you can reduce again." So, we're gonna push it to every 4 weeks starting in April. So, that's
oh my
exciting.
god.
Yeah.
You are like you are like our clients. You're like seeing progress and you're like, "Why wait? Why wait?"
Literally.
I love
Literally.
it, and I know that you've been working, like, so hard for it, so to be able to, like, get the approval, get things going, you're
Mhm.
checking all of the boxes, and so, like,
Mhm.
when you're coming off of it, you're actually doing it in a way that, like, allows your body to be okay versus just saying, "Fuck it, I'm getting off of this," and shit maybe hitting the fan.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure if I, like, just stopped taking it, it would've been too much for my
Yeah.
body, like, just to
Yeah.
completely stop. So, like, I don't know, like, how far can I get my shots to where it's, like, doing nothing? So, I don't know
Right.
when, like, that happens, and they don't have a smaller shot, so it's, like, that shot or nothing at some point.
Okay.
So, once I get good with 4 weeks, I guess we push it to 5 weeks? I don't know, like, that'd be cool if we can do that by July, push it to 5, and then, you know, eventually it's, like, I don't know, every other month, and then, but, like, I was taking them, like, 2 a month, every month
Yeah.
for years. Like, I have a tally of, like, how many I've taken because I like to just
Yeah.
keep track of weird things. So it's just yeah, it's exciting. I'm not as
So
scared
exciting.
anymore, like, I was terrified, like, very
Yeah.
scared to lower it. Now I'm kinda like, "Let's rip the bitch off," like, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what happens in a lot of people's, like, health or fitness journeys. Like,
Yeah.
at the beginning, it's so scary because
Yeah.
you either are gonna revert back to a place where you're in pain and you can't get off the couch and you're like,
Mhm.
"What the fuck? I've worked so hard. I don't wanna have to go
Mhm.
back to that place." But
Mhm.
when you can do it slow, you have actual, like, support, somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that can be
Mhm.
there for you, somebody that's been in really similar positions as you get
Mhm.
this confidence from doing, and then also the confidence from, like, they've got my back. Like, they're not gonna
Yeah.
fucking push me out to the deep end and be like, "You're fine. Like, just swim, just start swimming." And you're like, "I am right
Yeah.
here."
Yeah, think about how many times you've had a client tell you, or just someone in the DMs, whoever, or maybe even you listening, where you've heard or been told you need to eat more food, and it's terrifying. And you're like, oh my God, like I'm going to gain all the weight. If I start lifting weights, I'm going to get so big and bulky. And then we slowly add more calories over time. And you're like, whoa, like my clothes fit differently. My
Yeah.
pants do not fit me. Like, what is this witchcraft? Like, literally,
Literally.
like building the confidence in that doing something like slowly over time is not it's not as scary, and it's
Mhm.
better for your body. And if you're going to go into something kicking and screaming and freaking out, like that's not good for the body either. And which is
No.
why I'm sure you've had it where you had someone scared to eat more foods. We slowly add more food and push the needle further, and then over
Yeah.
time they're like, wow, I can't believe I went that many years without eating the extra 500 calories I'm eating now. And that's like an
Right.
awesome feeling.
It is, and to watch your own, like, as a coach, to watch your own progression, it
Mhm.
is such a weird feeling because women come to us and they're so vulnerable and they're looking for the support and we get to help them in
Mhm.
that way. And so to feel that vulnerability as the authority figure is, like, really quite humbling, but then you get to,
Mhm.
you're on your journey
Mhm.
and you get to look back and, like, relate to your clients that much more because
Yeah.
you're 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 thinking, "I've done the hard work. I've done the stuff that's really scary, but I trusted in the process. I trusted my coach. I went slowly. All the things that we're doing with your case over here, I do with my life as well."
Mhm.
Because it would be, like, crazy hypocritical if we were like, go slow. You know what? We're going to eat more food slowly. Let's get into the gym. And then on the other side, we're like going balls to the walls, doing all these like crazy drastic things. Like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
yeah. So kind of on this topic similarly, and a little bit related to like TV shows. I
Mhm.
saw this TikTok of like a girl that was like, I literally went to a fat camp that was like, run until you throw up. Like if you like you have to do all of these certain exercise if you don't burn enough calories, etc. And it brought me back to like thinking of obviously The Biggest Loser we've talked about before. But there was this scripted show on ABC Family and it was called I think it was called Big or something like that and it was about basically like fat camp. How what in the fuck? Who decided that fat camp was a good thing, that it was helpful? This girl's TikTok that I saw, I think she had said she started going when she was 12 and she went for every summer. On
Oh.
Real Housewives of New York, one of the housewives' daughters, she basically went to a fat camp, but it was like, oh,
Mhm.
she has arthritis and it's a treatment center and healing. It basically she comes out later and talks about like as she's older, she was like, yeah, it was basically like a fat camp. And me and my mom have like worked through this, but I'm like, what? What is
Oh.
early 2000s and like why is this it does it still exist? Are people still going?
Mm.
How insane.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I don't know if any exist now. I'm sure. I'm
they have
positive that
to.
they
Yeah.
exist, and I bet you any money they, like, hide under the pretense of, like, other things to,
Yep.
like.
Like this is a health and wellness treatment center and
Yeah,
you're going to lose all the water weight and the inflammation and it's like
yeah.
making like kids run for hours on end till they vomit. I don't think that's teaching them any healthy habits.
No, and it's just like it all starts with like the parents, right? And if
Yeah.
you have a poor relationship with your body, with your health, with food, like you are 1000% going to transmit that to your kids, even if you are not saying things
Yeah.
to say to them,
They
like,
watch.
yeah, like saying like this is, you need to think about food this way. You need to think about your health that way. It's just a
Mm.
matter of monkey see, monkey do,
Mhm.
and what you do with your life. And it's just like it just kind of like is crazy. Like I fall a lot for some reason on the side. Well, I know why, but on the side of TikTok where it's like this guy and he is I think he works, I'm not sure exactly, like social working or something like that. And he was saying how like for parents that are like lower income having kids, like how detrimental that is for children.
Mm.
And then some people in the comments were like, well, have a happy home, that's all that you need.
That's not
Like,
no.
no, that's not all that you need. Like, part of the
No.
reason why I'll never have kids is that, like, I am selfish AF with my time, my money, and I don't wanna give them that.
That's
Like,
fair. Like,
and it's just
yeah.
yeah, and I just think about, like, kids in lower income. I remember when I was at Akron for that glorious 1 semester, like, we had to do a bunch of, like, different community service things to help, like, beef up your application to get in this program, and while you're, like, getting, like, your undergrad, and you would do that, I guess, for grad. But I was working with, 2 of the girls, or 1 girl, I can't remember, who was in my program, and we went to inner city school in Akron, and we were doing, like, after school, like, kind of like, a little bit of education on some food. We would bring them
Mhm.
snacks. For some of them, that was their dinner.
Yeah.
That was their dinner. Me and her literally going with, like, our pennies, like, to Aldi and getting, like, pita
Yeah.
bread, and we'd fill it with, like, peanut butter and, like, or make, like, sandwiches, and, like, that was all they were getting.
Yeah.
Like, and you're telling me all you need is, like, love and care in a home?
No.
No.
No. It's and that's such a it's such a throwaway type of response. It doesn't
Yeah.
help anybody. It makes the people that choose to not have children because of finances or stability makes them feel like shit. It's just like
Mhm.
it literally helps nobody and it's
Mhm.
not true. If that was true, then there wouldn't be all of these issues as far as like just with kids. Like it just it
Yeah.
makes me so sad and can't imagine that coming out of my mouth of like I knew I wasn't financially stable or in a good place. Like I'm not gonna have a child like at this
Yeah.
like if I'm not in a great place. And I get sometimes shit happens, but like just because you get pregnant doesn't mean that like you have to have a child. And like that might, that's up to everybody's own decision. But the idea of just they need a happy and loving home. Well, they also need
Yeah.
food, they need support, they need heat to be on in the house, they need
Resources.
electricity. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
need a parent
Safety.
that is taking
Capable.
care of themselves
Yeah.
enough so that they can take care of the child. And like it's just, oh God, such a throwaway answer
I
of like
know.
just need love. It's like, bitch,
BFFR.
really? Like, no. Like, can I go to the grocery store and just like give somebody a compliment and they'll just give me the grocery?
Get groceries.
You just
That's a good point.
need love.
Yeah.
Like, it's just if we all just loved each other and were kind, like it would solve the problems. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you are
Yeah.
so dumb. And it's a very unintelligent answer.
I agree. And even thinking back to like the whole fat camp conversation, like I almost wonder if parents send their kids to something like that because they just don't know what to do. Like
I think it
I
stems from probably the parents are fat phobic themselves.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that definitely could be it. But they like literally don't know what to do because personal experience when I was going through like bad disorder eating,
Yeah,
like love my parents, they supported me, but they didn't know what
they
to
didn't know what to
do.
do.
No, they didn't know what to do
Yeah.
with me. Like they were just like in shock and like I think if they knew of a place that could send me, maybe they would. I don't know. I
Right.
truly don't know. But like maybe parents that see their kids are like and they don't have weight issues and they see their kid having weight issues or maybe they had weight issues in
Mm,
their youth and they're like, well, this is how I got through it. And this is, like the same
yeah.
thing. Like you
Yeah.
do what your parents taught you.
Yeah.
And maybe they're like, I've tried taking away the food. I've tried doing this and doing that. So the next best option is I'm going to
Mm,
send them there to someone else can help them because I
mm,
clearly can't. Maybe
yeah.
something like that.
I mean, I can't like, what experience do we have as like as far as like kids and that sort of
Oh,
stuff?
I would never let anyone raise Remy than how I raise her.
Yeah. But I feel like again, it's also just like such a fucking cop out. Like, do your research. Like, who in their fucking right mind thinks, okay, my child is really overweight and unhealthy, and I'm trying everything, but I don't know what to do. So let me send them to somebody. Let me send them to a place and really maybe not know all the ins and outs. You better fucking educate.
Okay,
Like, what are they actually doing there? Because like
he-
if you were a parent, would you be okay with like the way the TikTok, like she was talking about the TikTok, like running till she was sick? What what the fuck? Like, did her parent know that was happening there? Because that is some bullshit.
Yes, and I think the argument could be made, like how people always say, like, "Well, parents just don't have time," and they
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
think about, and this is where I like am defending parents for some reason because I'm just thinking
You're like, I'm
about
on the side of the parents.
no, no, I'm not saying send your kid to fat camp. I'm
I
not
know.
saying that. I'm just trying to get into the mind. Think about how many cases there are of kids getting sexually abused
Ugh,
at their favorite after school sport or by having a inappropriate like
yeah.
a problem with a doctor and you don't know like or the doctor was mean or whatever and then parents didn't know because they just they don't have enough eyes enough time to
Yeah.
look into, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
can see how you could think or even like imagine if you have a kid who you think sending to fat camp is the answer and they're like we had a run till we threw up. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Can you imagine
Mm,
how many parents don't believe them? Like that could
yeah.
also like because if your kid's like quote unquote according to you dramatic or
Right.
embellishes the truth a lot. Like I could see how it could just get so like easily just swept under the rug, you know?
Yeah, and that's like another like huge part of like the problem.
Yeah.
Just like I think as a society, like kids are not protected enough, and
Oh, I can
it's
go on that forever.
right. Like it's just I do agree that sometimes parents don't have the bandwidth to have eyes on everything and to fully know everything. Sure, people are
Yeah.
human. However, I think the systems need to be set up in place where these things don't happen, and other people are
Yeah.
able to advocate for kids. Like
Yeah.
it's just like I had to get a vaginal exam after I had gone to the doctors. I had like some issues, and they were like, oh, the only person available like is a man. And I was like, okay, I'm not super comfortable with that, but if you think that I need it, then like will you be in the room with me, because I'm like very uncomfortable. And she's like, oh my goodness, like if it was a woman, if it was men, like we're always going to have at least two people in here, because like that's just how we do it here. And I was like,
Mm.
why isn't this the norm? Why do I have to
Mhm.
like I'm going out of my way and asking? So I feel like
Mhm.
if we could do better for kids, for people, for everybody, and just like have systems
Yeah.
put in place so that it's not only the parents that carry this.
It's
Because yeah,
yeah.
it's oh my God, it's so
I
fucked.
just I just saw, Drake Bell came out and said he was sexually assaulted on Nickelodeon sets.
I think he also sexually assaulted people, maybe
Well, it
allegedly.
makes sense when
Uh,
a lot of times abusers were
yeah,
abusees at one point. So I'm not condoning what he's done and the creepy
but it's a
things he's
pattern.
done,
It's
but it's a
certainly a
pattern.
pattern. Yeah,
Yeah.
was that the feet guy on
Feet guy?
Nickelodeon? Dan
I d I just kinda, like, was like, "Oh, the
It might
next."
have been, yeah. No, Dan Schneider had like a
Oh, the feet guy, yes. I don't think it was
fetish,
I think it was something else someone else. I don't remember them saying
right.
Dan
I
Schneider because
mean,
that one
and
rings a bell.
in like for children like in Hollywood, oh
Oh
my
my
God, so
god.
much like fucking damaging shit happens again because like systems are not put in place. Like how
Yeah.
fucking hard is it to watch out for children? Like,
Well, there is a freaking TikToker, let me tell you, it is so freaking gross. I don't follow, like, I am very big on we talked about this before. You know what? We should really bring on someone because I would love to talk about this more in depth,
yeah,
who is like either an advocate. Because there's a girl I follow. I don't know if she'd be willing to come on a podcast, but and she is advocates for not bringing down, but bringing awareness around why you shouldn't show
yeah.
not only your kids on social media, but also talks about influencers and TikTok families, YouTube families,
Ugh.
and what they're doing and how it's putting their kids in harm. And she
Yep.
always blurs out the kids' faces, and which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
And I would love to talk to someone about that who's like
Yeah.
in that world. But
Yeah.
anyway, so there's a TikToker, and her daughter is so cute, so
I
cute. You
know
might
what
know
you're
who
gonna say.
she literally has freaking videos of her daughter eating, like, a banana in, like, provocative kinda clothing for, like,
Yep.
it's so Ally, like, it makes
It's
me scream.
disgusting. It's
I do I do not follow any families like that. I don't show my nieces, my nephew, I don't show anyone on social media because
nope.
people are perverted.
Mm.
Pedophilia is a thing. Like, I'm so like, it boils my blood when I see that.
It's disgusting. And I believe it was the same creator, like the one who shared the video, or similar, but it's disgusting. If you look at analytics of family channels, it is like middle-aged
S
men.
So
It's
gross, so gross,
disgusting.
so
You are
gross.
profiting off of your child. You are not probably, I mean, we can say probably because we don't know. You're probably not giving them any money. You're not putting it in a fund for them to go to college. They
Yeah.
don't know the ramifications of social media. They have no fucking
No,
idea.
no,
You're just like, okay, do your thing, do your thing. And it's like, oh my God, like these kids are working and you're not compensating them. They're never going to see this
no,
money. You're profiting on
no.
them. And it is so
I
gross.
know.
It's so gross. And it's so weird to me when people will comment. There's like I like a couple of like adult YouTubers like that podcasts or different things that I watch, and people will comment, why don't like, oh, can you share a picture of your kid? Like, oh, we want to see the kids. They're so cute. And I'm like, you are so weird for commenting on that. Like, you're so weird for asking this
Yeah,
creator that you have no idea who the fuck they are to see their kid.
yeah,
And like, even
yeah.
if you're doing like you're a normal person, you're just like, oh, like I'm sure their kid's really cute. Don't fucking comment that. That's so weird. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's just like and there was another one who she was showing her daughter, and then she said she started getting messages that
Oh,
were like, "I would love to marry your daughter to my son. He's only like 6 years older." Like, they're fucking children, like, out and she
ew.
goes, "I will no longer be showing my daughter." And I was like, "Yes!" I don't even know
Good.
this lady, I don't follow her, but I was like, amazing." Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's Hollywood, but this the newer version. There's always gonna be another version
Yeah.
of some evil.
Well, even with, like child actors, there are rules and regulations.
Yeah.
With family vloggers, there are no fucking rules. There's no protection for kids
That's
as far,
crazy.
like in Hollywood and film and all this sort of stuff, there are rules, there are hours, there are, it's compensation. Sure, nefarious shit goes down,
Mhm.
which is a problem, but there is some semblance of protection for the child. Should there be more? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But with family vloggers, you got them doing some crazy ass shit. And like these kids are just like being fucking like thrown to the wolves. It's oh my
I
God.
know.
I can't even imagine in like 18 years, like these kids
I
that
hope
are
they're suing their parents for,
family
like
vlogs, like all this shit that is gonna come out.
yeah, like,
It's
it's just and then people are gonna be following them, like, that is just so creepy. Even
when
my group
people make Instagrams for their babies.
oh! Sheena did that for Summer Moon.
Summer Moon, Tom Sandoval blocked Summer Moon. Good, good. You know what? That's the only right thing that that man has done. He said, "I don't want a baby following me. That's fucking weird."
Yeah, that is. I hope people listen to this and think, "Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna show my kids on the internet." But I don't even care.
Yeah,
People are like, "Well, I just have my friends and family." Like, okay,
yeah,
I bet you any money you got a spam follower, 1 or 2, or some
probably.
creepy dude you don't even know about because
Yeah,
those things just, like, kinda like you just, "Oh, let him follow me." You know what I mean?
sure.
You know and a side note, the people that abuse children are the ones fucking closest to them.
Yep.
Always. It's
Yeah.
always the weird uncle, the weird grandpa, whoever. So, yeah, they're friends and family, but they can also be the abuser.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's I think when I was younger, I never really got why, like, oh, why wouldn't you like post pictures of your baby? And like I'd always take pictures like with my little cousin, like younger,
Mhm,
whatever, and like we would always like they would make Snapchat videos, like they love the filters, and like as I go into like, the idea of like motherhood,
mhm.
just probably something I'm not going to do. Or it'll be like, if we do post a family picture or something, it's like baby's face is not going to be shown. And that is, that is just something that you have to be more aware of. And this is
Yeah.
not necessarily to shame or make people feel bad if you do post your kid. It's your kids. You know what?
Yeah, you can do what you want, but you
Do
just need
whatever
to
you
be
want.
aware of the
It
ramifications that can
yeah.
happen.
There's a lot of bad people lurking on social media or in
Yes. Yes.
places, yeah, at every fucking where. It's really
Literally.
it's so so crazy. It's just so it's so sad because when I think, when Instagram first came out, it was like, oh my God, it's so fun. Like you can
Yeah.
share pictures. And then when like stories happened, it was like real time things. And like now it's just like really fucking like creepy people. And
It is, and I mean, we definitely need to have someone talk about this
we
because now we're like
really do.
we're so
It's
deep right now. We're
well,
like neck
it's
level
so
deep.
important. It really is because I'm sorry. You have the knowledge of what you're doing when you take out your phone and you make a video of your kid and
Mhm,
whatever. And like when
mhm.
parents don't get me fucking started. First day of school shit, when they are posting that picture to Facebook and it says what grade they're in, where
That's what
they
I
go
was
to
thinking of
school.
automatically. Favorite color, their teacher. Might as well give them a key to the house.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
tell
Like
them, like, "Hey, Johnny, I'm your teacher's friend. Come here." You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
it's so weird. I'm like, people don't need to know that information. If you want to do a first day of school picture, sure. Don't put the school, don't put their grade, don't put this information out there.
yeah.
That's just like where is the brain? Your brain is not braining.
They're think if you really wanna share stuff like that, I encourage you to this is, like, based on, like I have no experience with this because I don't have kids, not having
Yeah.
kids, but maybe just make a group chat with your family and you can
Yeah,
text them the photo. Or if
totally.
you really wanna post it on social media, maybe you make everything so private as
Yeah.
possible
That like
to
people
where
can't even find you.
they can't even find you, you get rid of people you don't know who are you make everything private, and then that would hopefully be a bit safer, but
Right.
anything on the internet is someone can find it. Someone
Yeah.
always can find it, and I would just like to live in a world where kids are not taken advantage of because it's
Yeah.
sad and scary. And like I think about my nieces, I'm like, oh god, like that shit is scary.
Yeah, and as you become older and we see really family vlogs explode,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, how can I go along with this? Who is watching this? Like, it just becomes so much more in your face that like, this is weird and creepy and this is
Like,
not right.
why is a kid doing an ad for, like, toilet paper? Like, how many times do they have to re-record that? Like, even, like, with the ones that really get me, where they're, like, mommy vloggers and they're, like, doing the voiceover and the kid's, like, saying profanity. Like,
Ugh,
no, why?
no, weird.
I
The Ace family, they were always
oh.
the ones that fucking, I was like, what the hell? I never watched Ace Family vlogs,
Uh-huh.
but like other YouTubers or like different podcasts like would be like, what the fuck is going on with these people? Like they're losing their mind.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
was a video of the dad, Austin. He was with his niece or something, and she was literally holding, like they were at a candy store, and she's like, "Can I get this? Can I get this?" It was a dick popsicle or a lollipop, a literal dick. And he's like, "Oh my god, no!" And he's like doing this whole bit. This child has no idea what's going on. You probably told her just to like do this. Let's do the video,
yeah,
and then I'll get you something after.
yeah.
How gross are you? And there's like
That
been
is
so many other instances where he says like he'll do like just weird things. He'll do like just like sexy dances like with his oldest daughter. Like they're not like they're doing things. He'll walk in and be like, "Oh, surprise." And it's like, you are so gross. You know what you're doing. This is really
uh,
you're just like, I don't care. I don't care how much money you're fucking making. I would rather be lying in a ditch than like the thought
than
of like
doing that.
putting like a child in that position. It's so fucking weird. Like
It is weird.
so weird.
If you guys know of someone who's an advocate we should talk to,
Yes.
comment below,
No,
DM us.
we need to get somebody like this because the
I
conversation is
Oh,
insane.
no, I 1000% agree, and I'm trying to think why did I just get a random Voxer from some stranger? What
See,
the
creep what's on
heck?
the internet. Creep what's
Literally.
on the
I don't know what the girl's name. I'm pretty sure I follow her. If I find it, I'll obviously reach out to
No,
her. But she talks about this and she's so freaking
we
like
should
just
link her video below too. So if you guys don't know who we're talking about, you can like go and check her out because she is a creator
you know who I'm
that,
talking about?
yeah, I know the videos you're
Blonde
talking.
hair.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the name. I also kind of just saw some of her videos recently.
Hmm.
And it's just, man, it is so weird. And I genuinely love TikTok. I have a great time. I'm like just, chilling, vibing out, watch cool videos, but there are always those times where I'm like, like a family vlog channel will pop up and I'm like, who the fuck is watching it? If you go read through the comments, ugh, it's
Oh, it's
scary.
so gross. It is so gross. Dang, I don't follow that many people on TikTok. Like, I think I would
You
have
know,
found her by now.
don't either. I find that I don't ever see anybody that I follow. And then I always see accounts. Some of them are like super weird, and I'll click like not interested. And then I find that I see more of their videos. I'm like, you have to get hit with a block because I just don't want to see your content. It's dumb as fuck.
I feel like I almost don't follow her, but I engage with her content so
Mm.
much. She's just kind of like,
It'll pop up on your timeline later. And
yeah,
then,
I don't follow her. Dang it. I'm gonna follow her after this. I
yeah,
wish ooh. What I wish I could what would even be her
I
any
would maybe uh, like exposing like family vloggers or like something like like children internet safe, like some fucking thing will come up. Like you start to search that in and it will come up. I use TikTok,
no.
Google.
Yeah. Well, we'll link it below if I ever end up finding her. I'm surprised I'm like having so much trouble. But anyway, yeah, so that was our huge segment on how we went from fat camp to what was what did that go into? Talking
um
about
just like internet safety, but I think that the
internet
big sum
safety.
of it all is really advocating for your children, advocating for all
Mhm.
children if you
I
don't have
agree.
children, if you don't want children, whatever it is. Because there are so many things that get swept under the rug. And,
Oh, yeah.
going back to just like fat camp, for example, I don't care if you don't have time, if you don't know the solution, you don't know. Okay, then go yourself, educate yourself. Don't blindly trust that, oh, this has to be the solution. Like,
Yeah.
I don't fuck with that. Like, this is supposed to be, this is your child, protect them. Like, parents are going to make mistakes, they're going to fuck up, but like, understand like the ramifications that are going to happen from every decision. And not every
Yeah.
decision is going to be the right decision, but like fucking own that. Like, now all these like fucking poor people on my timeline that have gone to fat camp, they're like having, to do all this work about like
Yep.
repairing their relationship with food,
Yep, and their
uh
health and
some
yeah.
trauma and like not trusting people, all this sort of stuff. I'm like, my God, now you've created a whole nother beast.
It kind of reminds me, like, the inability or lack of commitment to
Yeah.
finding a way to fully support your child is like how dog parents that choose, specifically high energy, or breeds that need a lot of work and training, and then say, like, a Malinois, for example, is
Yep.
a, like, protection dog, like,
Yep.
they need a job, and they're like I saw someone in my community post, like, "We got a Malinois, it's been 6 months, like, we just can't handle the amount of training he needs." Why did you get a Malinois? Why did you get a dog that needs a lot of training? Like, if you had no intention of fully committing, like, same thing, just in
Can't.
cursive.
I can't. I hate that shit. It's like,
Yeah.
real animal lovers would not do that.
No,
They
you
would
make it
not
work.
get a fucking dog that they can't take care of, can't train properly, all these sorts of
Yep.
things. Like, it is not like, I think around Easter time, it's like the amount of like pet bunnies or things like that
Oh my g I
that buy.
despise it.
I
Yeah.
like, this is not just like a little stuffy. Okay, this is a
No.
real life, actual,
Yeah,
dog, animal,
yeah.
whatever. And oh my God, it's such laziness. And to make this even worse, I don't remember their name, but it was a family vlog, and they adopted a baby from somewhere in Asia. I know
Wait, I think I remember this, but go ahead.
he was diagnosed, I believe, with he was neurodivergent in some, did I just say the right word? Neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent. You said it
Yeah,
kinda weird, but
I
yeah.
did. Yeah. Some capacity, not exactly sure of the details, and I don't want to get anything wrong. They adopted him and then they rehomed him. And when you adopt a child, I believe something like they're not supposed to like public photographs for a certain amount of time, like not posted on the internet, that sort of.
Yep.
This was a family vlogging channel, and then they rehomed this child, and it was basically like it felt as if like, all right, we used him for the content and now it's too much. And they were like, we knew he would be better off in a home, more equipped, blah blah blah. That's your fucking child. Like, you are real pieces of shit. And I have no respect for you. No, zero zilch. That poor child. I hope he is in the best possible place that he can be. I hope he's being taken.
Probably isn't better now.
I really hope. I mean, we have no idea. I mean, like,
Yeah, that's
people are
true.
fucked up, but I'm like, what is with people just fucking doing things for like the fun of it? Oh, let's get this dog that we can't take care of. Let's adopt a child. You guys are delusional. Like,
Mhm.
are we crazy or okay?
No, we are
What is happening?
saying
What is
was that
happening?
was that the same family that literally said because we can't show them on social media, there might have been another family that did
No, no,
that.
I believe it was them. Like,
Okay,
it was kind of this, maybe it could be two stories, but I
okay.
believe, because when these stories came up, I was like looking into other like video essays, and it was like, when you
Yeah,
adopt a child, especially from like certain countries or this or that, there
yeah.
are rules that you have to follow, is it really that fucking hard to not put your child on social media?
Well, it is when you make money off them, so yep.
That man, that is so fucked. And this is
Um,
and thus this is the problem. We have circled back. If you can't love your child for just being a child, then you have no right to fucking have a child. It is, oh my God. I can't. When that came out, I was legit gobsmacked. I was like,
yeah.
no, this is
Like, and I
crazy.
and I just thought of this because it just puts into reference of you don't under we don't fully understand the internet capabilities.
Yep.
I have a family member that put a video. It was of a child doing like why the flag saying what is it? Why can't I think
Pledge
of
of
the word?
Allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance. Yes, saying the pledge of saying the pledge of allegiance. And it was a cute video. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know how like 1,000 people saw it." And I was like, "You put it on the
Put it
internet." Well,
online.
yeah, I was only it's on private. I was like, "Yeah, but on Reels, like I'm pretty sure anyone can see it." And they were
Right.
like, "Oh, like so like we don't even understand how far things can go." So it's
Yeah.
just there has to be more safety for everyone. Maybe this is hitting some pain points for someone, or you're like, wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's the point, to talk about these things and not to like shame you for things you didn't know, because rounding it all out, right? Maybe you didn't know a better way how to support your kids. You send them to fat camp. You think that's the only way, but the next thing you can do is make a better decision and find a different pathway to support your child. And that's probably going to involve developing a better relationship with your body, with your health, with food, and
Yeah.
showing that through yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It always, it always impresses me when anybody can learn new information and then form a different opinion and
Uh-huh.
just like move on with their day. And it's like we don't need
Yeah.
to criticize. Like, okay, you've learned something different. You changed your mind. You got new information.
Yeah.
Great. Like let's go with that. I hate the people that are like so overly critical of like, well, you used to do this, so like that's you. And it's like, okay, well, I learned different information. I grew. I did
Am
all
I
this.
not allowed to evolve?
Yeah, no, some people really are not. They don't vibe with that because it's like it
They wanna
takes.
paint you in
They,
that
they
one
mhm,
certain way, and
yeah,
that's you forever. No,
mm,
yeah, I don't believe that either. There are probably I've definitely done, like, reels and stuff where I said, like, things I used to believe about,
yeah,
like, health and fitness, and, like, comparing myself to the coach and the things I know now compared to back then,
yeah,
like, it's scary. Like,
right,
but I would hope that my coach, I hope she continues to learn. I know she continues to
yeah,
learn. Like, you should hope that you continue to learn, expand the way you think, and uh even the way you like process information, all
yeah.
those things. Like, if we are not evolving, we are dying. Like
We're dying. Want that stagnant, stale ass energy around you? Like
yeah,
that is
full of
just.
like mosquitoes because
It's
they
like
love
gross
stagnant
and
water.
hazy. It's like I've eaten like too much pizza, not enough water. I feel greasy. Like that is to me that feels like stagnant energy. Like no, you don't need that. You don't want that. If that's your vibe, then you know what? Peace and love. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because as Maddie says, you are either evolving or you're dying.
Yes, yes,
Kind of
yes.
love that. That's like everything.
Oh god, should we end it here? It's been over an hour.
I guess. I mean, it's only been an hour and 19 minutes. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, oh my God,
You're not the one who has to do show notes.
yeah, no, I literally, woke up today and I wasn't hungover, but like anytime I like drink, I get a little of anxiety the next day. And then I
Mhm.
also didn't take my meds last night because I like drank and I was like, I feel like I just probably should just skip it. I
Yeah.
would have taken them earlier if I knew we were going out. So I like woke up
Mhm.
and I was like, all right, I don't have Lexapro in my system. I don't have Lamictal in my system. I've had wine. I need to sit and talk and just like be on my
Okay.
like dumb shit with Maddie. And it was so wholesome. And now I'm like, all right, like it's the sun is shining, the tank is clean.
I'm your medication for today.
Yeah, you are my medication. So I got my dose of Maddie, and then
Yes.
I'm going to go take my Lexapro and my Lamictal, and we're gonna vibe. You know what's crazy? And then we will
What?
we will
What?
cut her. So when I started trying The I'm on Lexapro, which is an SSRI, and then I'm on Lamictal, which is a mood stabilizer. They tell you when you start taking this medication, if you develop a rash, you need to get to a hospital immediately. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
girl, what? I am stressed. I was like, what do you mean? And then my
Uh-huh.
psychiatrist was like, it's like a life-threatening rash. And I'm like, what? Like, what? And she's
Like
like,
where? Anywhere?
you'll just notice it. I think like it can be on your arms or your hand, like if you feel it. And
Oh.
so then my psoriasis started flaring up really bad. I literally
Oh.
panicked. Like I emailed my psychiatrist and I was like sending her pictures and she goes, yeah, no, I think like that's not it. And if like your derm says like it's your psoriasis, then you're probably fine. And I'm like, girl, you can't tell me to
Yeah. You
get
have
my
psoriasis?
on my scalp. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you had psoriasis.
Yeah, remember I was going through like I did like a fungal treatment and a psoriasis
Oh,
treatment.
I thought you just had like a fungal overgrowth.
No, it was a little
Oh,
it's the making.
RIP,
Oh,
RIP.
I
Been
know.
there.
My
Well,
head
mine
is
isn't. Mine
constantly
isn't.
fucking itchy.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Mine isn't psoriasis, luckily, I guess. But yeah, welcome to the club, itchy scalp.
Oh, it's so not cute. I'm like constantly
No, it's not.
you
It is
start
not.
touching it, it's just like I can't. Like if I'm
It's
like
crack. It's crack.
it's like oh it feels so good. And James is like stop it. And I'm like I'm sorry, I can't.
I said I literally say it's crack. Yep. Nope. In that club. Hey, when I get mine out, maybe you can do what I did, and you hopefully I'll have mine gone by. I'm hoping by the time I go to Colorado, as I
Yeah,
start like the phase 2 of my treatment.
that would be so iconic for you.
Yeah, trust me, I've had it literally since like I was a child, and no one ever thought anything of it. It was like, oh, just use T-Sal. It's like tar for your head.
What is that?
T-Sal, you never use that? It's like a dark shampoo, it's like a black it's literally like
Oh,
tar. Smells
no.
like absolute shit.
No.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna steer clear of that one right there.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, it kinda helped, but, like, like, the problem for me, it's not psoriasis, it's a yeast overgrowth, and
Right.
it's coming out of my skin, so it's not like, "Okay, if you treat the skin," it's, "Okay, why is it coming out of
Gotta
my
do the deeper
skin?"
issue.
So that's what we're working on right now. So I'm like, I can't wait
God.
till I get through. Like, if I could, like, I think about like I could conquer the world if I didn't have an itchy scalp.
Low key. Low
Loki.
key. Because I wear like a baseball hat and I like gotta take it off and I'm like, oh I'm like itching my head. Like when I bleached my hair, like when she was a blonde beauty, I didn't have any of these fucking issues. I swear, it just dried everything out. It was just like, no problem.
I
I'm like,
could
do I just like go back blonde? Because James is like, oh my God, it would be so fun for you to be like blonde at our wedding. And I'm like, yeah, it would be like really fun. I'm like, that would be like fucking so much money. And like, I'd have to start now. And I'm just
Oh
like,
my god, I
you
can't
want to see what my hair looked like? We'll show the viewers too. But I'll also
What
up.
is your natural hair color?
So I was born like a towhead. So I had like white hair.
A
And then
towhead, never heard of that before.
it's like white hair.
Oh.
And then it started getting like a little bit like dirty blonde, a little dark, and I didn't like that. So I like just always just got highlights like literally like every 3 weeks or so. I was like neurotic.
Wow.
And then I dyed it. I dyed it like several times. I did like red, I did like black. And then during the pandemic, I just had grown out so much. So I
Yeah.
went to my hairdresser and she just filled it and it was just my natural color. And then I saw JC, is that her name? I don't know, remember her last name on TikTok. She like looks like Kendall Jenner.
Yes.
She has red hair, so I got red hair. I'm like that bitch.
Uh,
I look like a baby in all these pictures. But this is when it was like slightly this is
oh
not
my god, it literally, like, you look so different.
I look like a baby because I was like 21. And then also it like really washed me out. So like I had
Mm,
to cake on like anytime I wore makeup, it was like very caked because obviously I'm very pale. Hi, who
yeah.
is she? But it really was not the look for me. And like
Casper the Ghost.
do you hate when people are like, oh my God, I loved when your hair was looked like this, or I loved when you did this or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, I don't have it right now. So you're saying that I look worse
Yeah.
without said thing.
Yeah. No, I get it. For me, it's black or black. Take your
Black or
pick.
black. Okay, perfect. So anytime I change my color, you're not allowed color of my hair. You're not allowed to say it looked better one way or the other. You'll just say it looks
Yes.
great and I'll say thank you because
I I
that is
approve.
my that is my ick when somebody's like, "Oh, I loved your hair blonde." I'm like, "Well, it's not blonde now, so what the fuck are you saying?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Dyeing hair, I was talking to Joel about this. I was like, that is a commitment I could never take. Like, so much work. Like
I
the
mean, I'm like
hours.
really grown out, right? I'm like this much grown out. So like
I just
it's effort.
that's so nope, couldn't be me. Could not be me.
Girl, it's gotta be me. It's you know what? If I'm gonna do one thing, I'm gonna change my fucking hair color every
I
2 years.
I bet your natural hair color is great, and it's just been so when's the last
It's
time you were totally
mousy.
natural?
It's mousy. During the pandemic for like
Mm.
maybe 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture after. But I personally I thought it was too mousy. Like I either wanted
Like
it a little bit.
gray?
No, like a brown mousy. Like I wanted it to either be a little bit darker or lighter, like where it falls naturally.
Mm.
Because I don't have freckles. My mom and my sister have these great freckles. Don't have the freckles. So I feel like if I had
Uh-huh.
freckles with that hair, slay. But I don't. So in
Uh-huh.
this era of my life, and I think as a bride, I will be a redhead because I just feel like she will be the moment.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's
And
giving Little Mermaid.
it's she's giving Little Mermaid. And the great thing about it is my hairstylist, who I love, she's slay. Like I would literally die without her. I was like talking to her and I was like, so like if I decide like I want to like be like my natural color for the wedding, like can we do that? And she's like, totally. We'll make it work. So I'm like, totally. We're gonna make it work. So that's where we're at. That is the update. And I
Mm.
booked my photographer, ours. James is also getting married. We booked our photographer. So that's like a
Ooh,
thing checked
yeah.
off. And I'm like, I'm so fucking excited. Like, I
How
think,
many did you talk to before you booked them?
oh, am I the worst too? And I was like,
Oh! Oh my
I
god.
I literally was like, I love you. I love her. I loved her work. I love her style. I love her energy. She lives like 20 minutes from us.
Oh, nice.
She had so many great
Like,
like reviews
portfolio?
and all this like all like everything. I was just like I'm a person like when I know.
Yeah.
Like I get that gut feeling.
Oh,
Oh, and
sorry, I'm just dying in my chair right now, like,
next
positioning.
thing is DJs, and I'm feeling
Mm.
overwhelmed because I emailed like probably eight
Oh,
because I
wow.
don't know how much anything costs. Like, right? Like I never done this. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
You got married, you did it like small. My other friend got
Mhm.
married, she just did it at the courthouse. So I have
Love
to go to
that.
my third friend and be like, I need to like price check with you because I don't know what's too much. And she's like, I got you. I'm like, you need to be real. Like, am
Yeah.
I spending too much money? Is it not enough? What is happening?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. You know who our DJ was?
Spotify.
My sister's Spotify list.
I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I love that for you guys. If do you have a big family or small family?
They're all dead, so small.
RIP.
Well, I mean, like, my mom, her best friend,
Yeah.
who's been, like, our uncle basically her whole life.
Yeah.
My grandma was she dead? Yeah, she was dead by then. My I know, my
I'm
every
obsessed with you. Like the way like that is how I talk about death. Like I have to be so frank about it because I get
yeah.
very like weird and uncomfortable. So I'm just like
Uh-huh.
just be point blank about it.
Yeah, and my Mexico family, only my aunt could come because something
Right.
happened with my uncle. My grandma was in, Jerusalem, and my aunt, her visa is expired, and it's really hard to get a visa in
Oh,
Mexico. So it was just, like, literally one thing after another, and then, yeah, that my grandpa is dead on both sides. There really wasn't anyone to bring for my
so is that
family.
like a factor in having a small wedding, or was it just like it doesn't even matter if we have a huge family? Like we're not doing it big because I know this was like a
Yeah.
compromise for you.
Yes, because I didn't wanna have a wedding. I would have happily done, like, the courthouse, but it was important to Joel, so
Sure.
important to us. So that was a compromise, like, we're not spending a penny on it. Like, it was gift money basically
Yep.
that we spent,
Yeah.
and we had money left over, and that was the goal. The most expensive thing was a photographer for us.
Yes. Yeah. That's My friend, she said the same thing. Like I told her the quote, and I don't know if I want to say it on here, so I'll
Just
probably
say
just
it,
tell you
whatever.
later. I
Okay, if you don't have to then if you
feel
don't want
like,
to.
yeah, I feel maybe people might not be happy with it. So
That's
I'm
fine. I mean, mine, I'll tell you, I don't care. Mine was, I think we did a 3 or 4 hour package. That is it. We didn't
okay.
do engagement photos. And even the time, we could have cut it less, to be honest. We didn't
Oh,
need,
yeah.
we got a shit ton of pictures. So we could have cut it less. And it was a couple thousand or something. And that
Okay.
was, but I was fine with it because the
Okay.
pictures turned out gorgeous. Loved them. She was great. They came to us. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Ours is going to be like 4,000 and change. And we're
For,
doing like
okay.
an 8 hour day. And there's a
Oh,
second.
yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah, that seems right.
I don't know if this is like, I don't know what is what. And James is like harping in my ear and he was like, I thought we could spend like 2,000. And I'm like, well, James, like
That's like what I spent.
that's the only thing you have to remember the day. And I'm like, they're going to
Yeah,
be with us all day. There's a
yeah,
second shooter. Like,
yeah. We didn't have a second shooter. We didn't
because
need it.
right, you don't, yeah. And if
Yeah.
we could do like the second shooter is coming for like 6 hours, so we could do less, but at
Wow.
the same time, it's like I want there to be pictures of everything. And I want
Yeah,
like the boys as they're getting ready, like the second
yeah,
shooter going to be with them. I want them to
yeah,
like get all the fucking pictures they want. And I
yeah,
want all the pictures of me. I'm sorry. Like it's the day where I get to be that crazy person.
yeah,
And I'm just like, take my picture. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know how much a DJ costs. Would love if we could just like literally plug in the Spotify, but I think that's probably not. James really wanted a band, and I'm like, whoa, buddy, that is
Oh,
expensive. We're not doing that.
wow.
I'm like, dude, you don't. He doesn't understand pricing, peace and love.
No,
He does
guys
not
don't.
understand pricing, and
No.
so when I told him like quotes for different DJs and stuff, he's like, oh my god, that's so expensive. We could get a band, and I'm like, you look up a band with peace and love. That's not happening. I don't want a band. I want to be able to like shake my ass, like what the to like what a fucking band. I'm like, I can't do this. Like,
The
what?
one's drumming
But
and I was like,
like we're trying to have fun. We're trying to have a good time.
uh,
So that is the latest.
I have a compromise.
Oh God.
You could have a band, Sandoval and the extras.
And the most extras.
Of the
Excuse
most extra
you.
you and tell him it's televised and he wouldn't have to know. He'd be like,
I
"Yeah, it's
my God. It would probably be cheaper to have him than a DJ.
I don't know how much that would be.
Dude,
Let's
I
look into
can't
that.
imagine it's a lot of money. Like the tickets for his shows were so fucking cheap.
Like, how much?
Like I think you could get tickets for like less than $100.
Oh, wow. I
Like
mean, at, like, a shitty dive bar? Like, what are we talking?
there were he would do little events all over. Like there was
Mm,
nothing glamorous about any of it.
mm,
Like
mm.
no, I could just like we would just have like we could have the photographer and be like, "Oh, this is like a really like a new high quality camera and like you're being
Yeah.
filmed." And he'd be like, "All right,
I could take my shirt
let's
off.
do this." I'm like,
My mom would be like, "Oh, this person here is thinking about cheating on their spouse." Oh, great.
"Oh
Perfect for
my
him.
God, cool, cool. I'm down." Oh my God. I
Uh,
can't. I'm so excited, but also I don't know. Like, I don't know how people do it. So I went out and I bought not a whiteboard, a poster board, and I'll send you a picture of what it looks like. And I have my to do sticky notes and I have my done sticky
I
notes. And
mean, you have, like, a year and a half. You have time.
I know, but we have our engagement session like shoots in May because it was included in the package. So we're like, fuck
Nice.
it, like we'll do that. Um, and then save the dates will go out in July, and then
Wait, you're taking new engagement photos?
because my sister's friend just did it for us for free because she wasn't even supposed to be there.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
crazy. Oh, they came with it for
they,
free in your thing, so that
they
makes
came
sense.
for free. Yeah, so we're just like, I mean, it would be like stupid to not do it because then you're like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
wasting
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
we're gonna do that, and I'll be like a little. I don't like to like focus on like just being skinny, but like I've like lost weight and I'll feel better. Like I
I get that.
back at
Yeah,
those pictures and I'm so happy. And I was like, this is such a great memory. But also, I didn't feel the most confident in my body. And that's not a
yeah.
bad thing. I
No,
love we have the memories. I got a
yeah,
sample of the save the date. So we'll always have that like with the older pictures. But also, I'm in a place where I've been fucking busting my ass working on myself. So I
yeah,
wanna like feel the best I can. And so
yeah.
love that. So we have that in July, and then I have a little thing in August. And then before you know it, it's gonna be January. And then it's gonna be the year of. So I'm like I'm getting my ducks in a fucking row because you gotta have something to focus on, or else I will I'll lose it all.
I think we really need a catch-up episode. Maybe we'll do one soon. We haven't done one, like,
To catch up.
forever. Yeah, we have this was basically a catch-up
But we
slash, like,
need
fat
a
camp.
designated, yeah, this one we got deep.
Child advocation, fat
Yeah.
camp,
Yes. But
catch-up.
we got to round it out and make you guys like smile at the end, because if we leave
Yeah,
you with the hard hitting stuff, then
yeah,
you might have a sad day. And
yeah,
while these things are important, we also want you to leave happy. So catch up
yeah.
episode will be next, and you'll all just fucking love it because
Yes,
we
yeah.
love that for us.
I'm not even gonna ask you closing out thoughts because
No,
we've
don't.
had many
Just
thoughts. All
stop.
right. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching to Kinda Hot, Kinda Healthy. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us so we can reach more women just like you. You can find us Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere where you can stream podcasts. If you have a burning question about life, friendship, health, and 1 or 2 cents, email us at kindahotpod@gmail.com. That's KINDAHOTPOD at gmail.com. Bye.
Hey.